Hello, everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. That afternoon, Michael and I prepared to enter the forest. My heart was pounding, my hands were sweaty, but inside I was urged to face the truth. Michael brought a powerful flashlight, a self-defense knife, and a notebook with old rituals. I only carried a wooden stick, hoping that it could help me feel a little safer. The sky was grey, dark clouds were gathering, signaling an impending rain. As I stepped into the forest, I immediately felt the difference. The space seemed to thicken, the sound of the wind was swallowed, and only the rustling sound of dry leaves under our feet remained. Every step felt like hundreds of invisible eyes were watching me, making my skin crawl. Michael walked while whispering a few sentences in the notebook, hoping to create a layer of protection. I followed him closely, my eyes darting around, afraid that at any moment that figure would appear. We walked deeper. The trees were so dense that they blocked out the light. The flashlight cast a small light, but the thick darkness seemed to always try to swallow it. About half an hour later, we came to an unusual clearing. In the middle was a giant tree, its trunk gnarled, its roots reaching up like giant hands tearing at the ground. The space here was so cold that my breath came out in thin wisps of smoke. In the middle of the tree trunk, there was a dark, deep hole, like a door leading to somewhere else. Suddenly, I heard a voice from inside. This time, it was not just my mother's voice, but many different voices, overlapping, distorted. There was a man's voice, there was a child's voice, all calling my name, long, wailing, making my whole body tremble. Michael tightened his grip on the notebook, began to read louder, his voice trembling but determined. Suddenly, a strong wind blew through, even though the forest was still all around. The flashlight flickered repeatedly, then went out, leaving us in total darkness. From within the tree hole, two bright spots appeared, like eyes staring at me. My heart clenched, my breath caught in my throat. The voices suddenly stopped, replaced by a hoarse laugh. Michael shouted, pulled a handful of salt from his pocket, and threw it straight at the tree hole. Immediately, a piercing scream rang out, not from one person, but like dozens, hundreds of simultaneous screams. The air shook. The ground beneath our feet trembled. I held my head, feeling like my eardrums were about to burst. Then, everything went silent. The flashlight flickered again, illuminating the now empty tree hole. But this silence did not reassure me. On the contrary, it terrified me even more. I knew it was still there, hidden in the darkness, observing our every move. Michael breathed heavily, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and looked at me, his eyes full of worry. He whispered that this thing was stronger than he thought. The rituals and salts could only contain it temporarily, not destroy it. The only thing we could do was find a way to retreat before it got completely dark. I nodded, but my heart was still haunted by the strange, bright eyes that had just looked straight at me. As we turned to leave the clearing, the familiar voice rang out again, this time right behind me. It was still my mother's voice, sweet and gentle, but it echoed in the cold air. I turned around, but saw only dense darkness. My whole body was cold, my steps heavy as if being pulled back. Michael grabbed my hand, pulling me away, his voice resolute. Don't come back. We hurried out of the forest, each step weighing 1,000 pounds. But I knew the story didn't end there. The entity had revealed itself, and it would not give up. Stay tuned for the next episode to see what happens when we bring the horror from the woods back to the house. A place that seems safe but is waiting for another nightmare.